Live! We're live. We're live.
Hey, welcome to this episode of Vidcast number
34.
Holy cow, 34.
30.
This episode is going to be called,
Do you want me to say it? Legalizing the game.
Legalizing the Game. We're going to hear a word from our corporate sponsors first, and then we're going to have a special guest come in, and no legal advice will be offered on this show, but we will just talk about some of the misunderstandings that happen between copyright, trademarks, patents, and all of that.
And how designers and publishers, what they possibly should be doing, could be doing. Our advantages is the person we have is actually a lawyer, and he plays games. So that's kind of a cool thing. So let's start real quick as to what's going on in the industry.
Oh, what is going on in the industry?
I don't know. I'm still following up from Gen Con. Gen Con's been a month and a half since then. I know that there's been a Comic-Con, PAX was a little while ago, but still dealing with the mounds and mounds of releases after Gen Con, during Gen Con, before Gen Con, and just that whole flow going.
Something else that's happening in the industry is that Kickstarter is changing the board game industry now, and Kickstarter itself is changing. These changes are becoming subtle, but what's happening, anecdotal, my opinion only, is that more and more backers are becoming sophisticated. They're unwilling to back an amateur game designer and publisher at the same time. And so what's happening is that you're going to start to see funding levels start to slowly drop off. One, we get a flood of games out on Kickstarter, but also the backers are just saying, you know what, they've had enough. And so it's not something that they're actually actively interested in. I'm waving to my daughter who happens to be behind the camera going off to gymnastics.
Bye! So, and then didn't a little while ago that whole terms and conditions changed. So now
terms and conditions changed a little bit. It hasn't really impacted too many people.
But it will, won't it?
A little bit. I'm not the one to talk about it right here. But Jamie Stegmeyer, we talked about on his blog, and we talked about it a little bit on the
Well, I mean, I think it's great. I mean, personally, I didn't delve into those rules and regulations, but at least to have something, so some people have recourse if someone just takes the money.
Yeah, a little bit of that.
So,
but what is happening is that there's a fundamental shift now happening slowly, that if you've got a game and you just throw it out on Kickstarter, the Wild West is starting to get tamed by settlers. And so you're going to have to do a lot more work than a lot of people who came before you, which might not seem fair. Unfortunately, it's just the truth. Excellent. All right.
Okay, so we want to talk about games now.
Corporate sponsors.
Okay, so I actually missed bringing like 6 new role-playing game releases. They're pretty much all supplements. I'm not saying that they're insignificant, but they're supplements. So it would just be a lot, and I forgot them actually, ironically, at the same time. So, but I have an advanced copy of a game that was released at Gen Con called Atlas. It's a heavy 2-player strategy game from Golden Egg Games.
What does heavy mean?
Long.
Okay. Long,
lots of rules, lots of pieces, lots of cards with powers, and
holy cow,
lots of little markers. Actually, it's only 60 minutes, but there's just a lot to it.
Okay.
The other one of the highlight games I'll put out there is from the guys who made Cutthroat Caverns, one of my favorite games, one of my consistent selling games that we just sold out of.
They have sponsored the show on numerous occasions.
Yes, and Student Bodies is there. No guns, one chance, no mercy. All I have to do is run faster than you. Zombie game, zombie survival game. So it's not co-op. I thought you were going to make more of a comment.
No,
so basically, you just got to outrun people running through the school and use your weapons and your abilities and all that.
But there's no guns.
It says no guns.
It says no guns. I enjoy it. The whole gun culture just got out of control.
So Smirk and Dagger is doing the folks who probably Dread Curse and Cutthroat Caverns. The last one, 13 True Ways, has not been put out yet. Ironically, the reason it's not out yet is, actually, I just talked to the publisher Pelgrim Press today. It was my fault. I admitted to them. I blew it. They told me to release this like 2-3 weeks ago, and I just kind of like thought it was part of this, hey, hold this product, blah, blah, blah. So a retailer was getting all mad at them, and I went to the retailer and I said, it's my fault. It's like, it's actually just Aldo. I'm the person at fault. I've just been sitting on it. So the retailer was pretty happy about it.
You were on a cruise. Was that what it was? Oh, were you?
I don't go on vacation anymore. Don't listen.
Oh yeah, he was like in Iceland or something.
Don't listen to him anymore. The 13 True Ways is the new supplement for 13th Age that's coming out soon. There was 2 other supplement adventure releases that just came out before this. Like I said, I was going to bring them.
So what are we playing tonight? Just kind of for people.
Well, I'd like to play Student Bodies because it is all open And
Okay.
you know, we want to do
And
that.
I'm going to play a little bit of Quantum, which isn't on the table, because I really enjoy it.
Good. So the last half of what we're talking about, why we're calling it legalizing the games, about including marijuana in your games now that we're in California.
Colorado, Washington State, if you're doing it. If you're a game designer there, you can actually package it in, get away with it, send it off. You line the limit cards.
And with that laughter, you know, tell you, we always talk about people coming in, but we're going to invite our friend Robert over here. Robert is a lawyer. Hey! So welcome, Robert.
Thank you very much.
Robert is not only a lawyer, but he plays in our game group with us, and obviously he's interested in games as well.
How far do you drive to get here to play in our game group?
So as I'll explain to both of them, I actually also help in a mock trial at a local high school. So I only drive from the high school 30 minutes
but you live in.
I live an hour away.
You live an hour away.
So I live a little over an hour away.
So the two of them come to my home every other Monday, and I'm always honored because they put so much effort.
So one question people ask me, and of course I can't answer it all the time, but I just give them the basic directions. I talk to a lawyer. People ask the difference between copyright, trademark, and patent. They ask it that way. But we know that there's multiple answers to copyright, what kind of copyrights there are, what multiple answers to trademark, and all that kind of thing. So just a general summary for the generic person. What are the definitions of those three, and then we'll find out which ones are best for
Sure. So a patent is creating a novel idea, usually in the chemical industry or with a design that you want to prohibit anyone else from using.
So my latest board game design is a creative idea that I don't want anybody copying, so I should patent.
You should not.
Okay. Wait a minute. Explain to me what a patent is again. You just said it.
I did say it's a novel function that has not been created before.
My game has never been created before, and it's a novel function.
The mechanics most likely have existed prior.
Rolling dice, for example.
Rolling dice.
I can patent rolling dice.
You cannot patent rolling dice.
I was hiding behind this box.
Actually, I have worked with a client who did patent dice rolling. In the fact that he imprinted the 52 cards from the deck onto dice in such a pattern that you can have a proper combination of dice here. So you can get royal flushes.
That's what's his name, the Straight Shooters guy. Yeah, I see that all conventions all the time. I can't remember his name.
Yeah, sorry.
Super nice guy. Yes.
What's the difference between that and here I have a dice cup and I open it up and it's got dice with cards on it. What's the difference between that?
So these dice have already existed. The images have already existed. What he did was created an algorithm to optimize certain dice appearing, certain combinations appearing in certain
Got it. So if I build an algorithm for my board game.
Let's do this. Let's give some examples of patents in the game industry. I know of two.
Third, because we just talked about
We just thought the third one that I didn't know about. The first one is Wizards of the Coast and their 90-degree tapping, turning the card.
Right.
The other one is the WizKids clicky dial. And actually, Robert and I talked about this, and Robert's like, what? They patented a dial? And I said, it's not about, per se, the stats on the dial, but they patented the mechanic of the stats and the changing combination of dial.
Correct.
So that is a mechanic that has not been done before, and that's why they did it.
Well, and let's be honest, it is nearly impossible to patent anything in the board game space.
Apparently not.
It's like nearly.
But let's, besides delving into patents, let's just talk about, obviously, trademarks are the one that is most common in the game industry.
Trademark and
Copyright. So let's talk about the difference between those two and why somebody should or should not trademark, or why they should or should not copy.
So before we get to that, I want to be very clear. Do not seek a patent. They are expensive. They're onerous, time-consuming.
We are not offering legal advice. This is simply an opinion. But if you'd like legal advice, call 1-800-MY-GAME-ATTORNEY, which you'll find at the bottom of the screen. Go ahead.
Okay. I advise people to highly consider getting patents.
Don't get that.
Yeah.
All right.
Trademarks versus copyrights.
Yeah.
Copyrights relate to anything written or the artwork. For example, this instruction booklet. This instruction booklet has specific text inside of it. This is what you would copyright.
The whole.
It's the whole.
Correct.
Yeah. Which includes the outside artwork, the images inside of it, including the language.
But people don't actually fill out forms to copyright things anymore. Isn't there that self-governing thingamabobby once it's printed?
you've got inherent copyright?
That is partially correct.
Okay, partially.
Yes. Once you have put together your instruction booklet, you do have a copyright that prevents other people from creating an exact duplicate of this work. However, if someone changes basic language, changes artwork, that defeats the copyright.
How much do they have to change it before it gets in?
It's hard to say. You have to look at the gestalt.
But we're like a 20%. Rule of thumb, 20%.
In artwork, they really should. There's the old 75% rule for what they're looking at. Going to guns, a receiver is complete at 80%. So we can talk about that later. But 75 to 80%.
Hey, we're not going with the gun culture.
No. So but this person doesn't physically take this, fill out a form online or anything, and pay to get this copy.
That is correct.
Could they?
They could. And I generally, it would not be ridiculous.
Really?
Okay. I recommend people, if they want a copyright, they should file out a copyright application for their documents if they feel that it is significant and important to their game.
Okay, so let's measure what you just said to what the audience that we're mostly talking. We're mostly talking to new, small, medium game design.
Okay.
So that's kind of moot, unless their game hits some giant amount of numbers with a penetrating.
Correct. Because the people are not going to duplicate your game on the language inside the instruction booklet, the language inside of the copies.
Yeah.
Okay. And if they did, you can still defend your copyright as the first creator. Okay. However, so going to when do you fill out the paperwork? Why would you fill out the paperwork? Yeah. That occurs when you want to defend the copyright in court. Okay. So again, with the rule book or the sponsors.
Yeah.
If somebody duplicates this, I don't see a copyright mark up there.
That might be buried.
It might be buried, but
copyright.
Well, to be clear, having the symbol does not necessarily mean you've actually filed the application.
Okay. So that little C in the circle
does not mean that people have filed that application.
It just means it's self-governing.
It's self-governing. But for them to defend this copyright in court, they would have to first file the copyright with the federal government.
Okay. And then it would become registered.
And then it would become registered with the federal government.
Oh, would I get to put the little R in the circle now?
Now you're talking about trademarks.
Yeah, the R in the circle is trademark.
That's right.
What a rollover. So in trademarks, you don't trademark an entire game or instruction book. You trademark the words student bodies together in a category.
Correct. This actual name would be particularly interesting because it is of general use.
Correct.
So it would be hard to trademark the term student bodies because of its historical use.
But athletes,
you could trademark.
it would be much easier.
Right. And with student bodies, there's two basic trademarks: the words themselves or the artwork.
Which might be the words themselves.
Correct. So student bodies in this situation could be the white student with the red bodies and the artwork.
In this particular font, in this particular art.
Correct.
Yeah,
and with the catchphrase, no guns, one chance, no mercy.
That would be the trademark.
That would be the trademark.
Okay, got it. Because I had told you this, we discussed it. People don't know, Impression's also just free RPG Day, we've mentioned that. I finally got around to trademarking free RPG Day as a phrase in the category of the board card role-playing game space, whatever the category was. But I also told you that I said I trademarked actually free role-playing game day with RPG in parentheses afterwards. And they didn't like that at first, and then they came back to me and said, look, you can have that, so you know that RPG means role-playing game, but you lay no claim to the letters RPG. And I was fine, obviously, with that. That was within my trademark. So I trademarked free role-playing game day together as a phrase.
Right. With the RPG and parenthetical note.
And I had to give them a logo as well.
Yeah.
I had to give them the free RPG day logo.
So going back to markers at the end of phrases, such as the little c with the circle around for copyright, there are two that we identify for trademarks, the TN and the R. Richard and I had a lively conversation about this just before, and I was educated on this because of all three that we discussed today, the patent, the copyright, and the trademark, the one I advocate for the most is the trademark. You always want to brand your game name, not necessarily your company name, but your game name. And a trademark right now costs about $275, so it's not that onerous of an expense, and it goes a long way to protecting your rights in the future. What I was talking to Richard about today was the initials TM versus R with the circle. Richard educated me in the sense that the TM, much like the copyright logo, doesn't necessarily mean that you registered it with anybody. It's simply that you're claiming a right to it. I did not know this because I would never buy these. You're
like, just get the circle, spend the $275.
Because over the many years, being the vice president of marketing for software companies, we have done trademarks without the bother of registering. So we came out with new products, and
you just wanted to get some type of claim
so that, as we continue to do business. And so, for the last 15, 20 years, we have just used the TM. When it came time to do something really, really important, because we thought this was worth a lot of money, then we go and do the registration. Otherwise, it wasn't worth the time.
But why if you're a game company with 10 games? Are you really suggesting that game company should trademark every single title?
Yes, absolutely. I worked in the mobile video game industry for a little while, and we trademarked games we were not even thinking of creating.
Right. Well, the video game industry has a lot more money than this industry does.
But
why? Let's go back to, though, because our audience is like, oh my gosh, why are you trademarking?
The brand for your game comes from its name. My favorite example from this is with Jenga. The woman who created Jenga back in England went to an attorney and says, I have this incredible game. Here's the mechanics to it. I want to patent this model. The attorney looked at her and said, it's too expensive to patent. It's too time consuming. Get the trademark, brand the game everywhere, and no one will be able to compete.
And guess what?
People compete with her. But when you go into your stores, such as your Targets, your Walmarts, people gravitate towards Jenga.
Correct.
Because that's the name. It's the same thing with Kleenex. It's a branded title, and people know that name.
So you might have a Coke.
That's right.
Is Pepsi okay? No.
So this brings up, we're out of time, but this brings up an interesting point that the reason oftentimes, I've been asked to sign an NDA sometimes with somebody who's doing game design. It's like, okay, all right. These ideas are personal to the people creating these games, and they're afraid somebody's going to steal their idea. And we have already counted that. It's not going to happen.
Correct.
Somebody's not going to steal your idea. But what you just said is when it comes to marketing and competition, by trademarking your name and getting the name out there, registering the trademark and pushing that name out there, it actually works backwards that now people can't steal the idea, because even if they do steal the idea, they have to call it something else. And in the act of calling it something else, it removes a lot of the competitive advantage that your product has. I know that doesn't make sense, but like you just said,
let's talk about something that doesn't
Jenga. Jenga, if I have a game that competes with Jenga, what am I going to call it that people are just going to know what it is?
I actually think there was a game called Stack that copied Jenga. Like, you've seen all these clones.
Right.
Like Sorry's been a clone. Actually, did you know Sorry's a clone of an old German game?
I did
called Mensch.
Mensch?
And the only reason I know this is because my wife's German.
And what does Mensch mean in German?
It's like knock you out or hit you over or something, which is what Sorry's get you out and something like that. Don't quote me. Don't be mad at me. Anybody's really German out there.
No legal advice.
But obviously, Mensch was probably trademarked and all that other stuff. And America just went, oh, look, this is a game. Let's do it.
Yeah, mechanics. Yeah. And that was the failure of the German marketing.
Go with a fellow and another one. So anyway, I know we're out of time to talk about it.
To summarize very quickly, though, I do not generally recommend getting patents. More expensive, hard to find novel, unless they're big, different ideas. Right.
And you're not watching, so
copyrights. Copyrights are not the priority, but add the C to anything you create because it's self-regulating.
Yeah.
If you were to spend the money on the trademark component, if anything, because branding the idea is probably the most important aspect.
Branding the name.
Yes, the name. The name of the game.
Yeah. And the last question, can I copyright my blogs?
That is a longer answer. Yes, you can copyright your blogs.
I'm going to let you talk.
Thank you.
Now I'm going to turn it off or eventually
What you have to do is every quarter, you have to reapply your copyright for all the new blogs that you've created. So you have to repay the copyright application for every new blog you create. So basically what you do is you blanket copyright all the blogs you created over a period of time.
All right.
Wow.
So no political, no
That's
advice
crazy.
is forgiven. No legal advice, nothing. So we appreciate you watching. Aldo's going to say goodbye. Thanks
Bye.
for joining us, and we'll catch you next time.
I'm going to push the button and say stop right now. See ya.